Today, I'm going to show you how to repair or replace your tubeless tires safely and effectively. Let's go. All right, I know it's intimidating and it's scary, so before you even come at me with that, let's go over the tools. You need tires. I got new tires, NV 29s, some beefy old jabbers. We got some Silca Ultimate Seal It with injectable fiber foam, which I don't know what that means. And then we're also going to use our valve core remover and then a Silca really heavy duty metal tire lever just to make sure we're good. Because sometimes tires need a little help. So let's go. You're going to need a tool to take off your wheel. I'm going to use a 3-way. Boom. We've got the NV 4.5 Pros. Believe it or not, you can see here there's just some nasty stuff that could give you some problems. So you take the valve core out, set this little tool on there, sits nicely, and then you just unscrew it out. And if it's looking like it's kind of gross, you can replace this at this point in time. Now let's get the tire off. Tires, if they've been on for a while, it could be a little bit tough, so you want to really use your thumb and so have fun. Tire lever, just be careful of your rim tape. You never want to crunch that or put a hole in it. Just peel off the front edge. Just like this, and you get it all the way around. One side off, the other side comes off nice and easy. Something else you might want to do is have a hose or a rag. If you've got a lot of sealant left over, it can be kind of gross. But since I'm throwing these away, no big deal. But I will clean the inside of this out with a rag before I put the new one on. Your new tires, if you want them to go on a little bit easier, they're better to work with when they're warm. So I'm gonna go throw these in the sun. This is the best use of a feed rag, is to wipe up stuff. You'll want to note with your tires which way the rotation is going to be that way. It dictated by that arrow right there. So I'll start by putting one side of the bead on, and I'll get it to the center of the wheel here. And this part actually can be tough too. Sometimes these are a bit snug. Just gently work everything. You might develop carpal tunnel, I don't know. All right, this part can be tough when you're gonna go put the rest of the bead on there. Got one side on. Now we're gonna work our way around the outside and just get this bead as far as we can until it gets tough. And then you're left with this, right? This is when you have to kind of work it. You want to make sure that tire is in the center. That way it takes most of the slack out. Roll it over the tip. But if it's, because you just don't want it to be stretched out anywhere. Sometimes you have to use a tire lever for this. Oh, it definitely hurts the forearms. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use a tire lever to get this last little bit. It's just too tight. But I'm gonna be real careful. I'm gonna turn it towards the lip. That way I can get it under this little edge. Just one step at a time. Just gently coax it along so I'm not digging deep into the rim tape or something like that. And then over time you can just barely get it. And then eventually you can even get it with your hands. You just wanna, all right, so now you can see we're pretty much there. There we go. All right, inflation. Getting this to set is gonna be a bit of a bear. You can use a blast pump, you can use a compressor, you can use a CO2. You can sometimes get lucky with the regular pump. So this could take some doing. Let's see what happens here. A compressor. This one is pretty good. It's not like the highest flow, but as long as you put it on this valve that's open. Also, you wanna make sure that you've got the tire over the valve on both sides, so it's going to kind of capture the air and send it around the bead, which it's not easy to do straight away, I'm telling you. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see what happens. Nope. You'll know the second if it's going to start to work. Plan B is to use something really cool. So this baby, an air shot. I pump this up with the regular pump to 160 psi, and then I will put this on and it'll just blast it through. So let's pump it up real quick. All right, this has 130 pounds of pressure in it. So I screwed in one end of it here, and then pretty easy, this one right here. See if we can get it to grab. There we go, full seal. Those are the noises that you want. Then we just put the valve core in, put the sealant in, and go from there. So let's hit that up next. Let's keep going. So we've got the bead set, which is some of the most challenging parts. I've got 2 ounces of Silca sealant in this. This is just what I use to squirt it in because it's got a nice little spout on it. And I take the valve core off, and then I gently squirt it in there. Some people will do it differently. There's tons of technique. This has just always worked for me. I'll put 2 ounces of sealant in, maybe 3 max, but 2 is pretty good, and if I'm racing, it's like a 1.5. So now we're just gonna put our valve core back in. So we've got valve core here. We're gonna put the inflator on here and take her up to 60 PSI. So just like that, we've got, there we go, last little pop. And she's fully seated everywhere. You usually check too if you want and see if it's set on all sides by just giving it a little spin and see if you see any dimples or any spots that haven't quite done it. And then let the sealant roll around a little bit, seal up anything on the inside. And that's how you do tubeless. It's not super easy. The tools you will need are valve core remover, tire lever, towels, maybe some cleaner, sealant, some sort of air compressor or fast, high pressure, high power air delivery system.